Hello, good afternoon. This is Joy Newsroom with me, Pious, Kojo, Backah. Coming up in our headlines, 15 persons injured, 6 hospitalized following an attack by unidentified hoodlums while waiting in the voters' registration queue at Okaikwe North Municipal Assembly.
Serious, governor, CMB. Let them know the whole world CMB tax.
One of the fishers involved in the boat accident at the Adafo estuary has been found dead at Anglonga in the Volta region. Plus, fire outbreak at Cocoa Marketing Board area in Accra. Many shops burned to the ground. We have details of these and many others lined up for you. Please stay. Hello, welcome back. This afternoon, 15 persons have been injured, with 5 persons reportedly hospitalized after masked men stormed the Electoral Commission's registration center at the Okaikwe North constituency and attacked some persons who had queued to be registered. NDC chairman for the area, Gregory Kwashi, has been speaking to Joy News.
Since the exercise started, my guys or my people come to sleep here because on the average, about 300 people come here every day, but only 60, 70 people are able to register a day. So to stand any chance of being registered, you need to come very early. So then people normally come here around 10, 11 p.m. and sleep over. Now, I've slept here a couple of days, but yesterday I went home and I came back around a few minutes after 5:30. That was where I saw what had just happened, that a group of men came here. They first went to where the queue was. They started beating anybody they could see, took the phones of the innocent people who had come to register. Then they went to the other people who were standing by. They beat those they could beat, take the phones they could beat, they could take, and then they ran away. About 5 people were seriously injured. 15 were beaten, had injuries.
A resident, Elom Marion Deborah, who also witnessed the incident, also gives an account.
We started sleeping here from Tuesday. When the exercise started, we started sleeping here just to make sure that all our people will be the first people that will have the card. So today, we slept as usual yesterday, and this morning I was sleeping. And I just woke up and I heard voices saying that, Munko, 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 Munko. So I just woke out of sleep. When I woke up, the kids were already in a queue. Kids, we've set the chairs already, so the kids were already in the queue. They started beating them, destroying our chairs and everything. They started following us with cutlass, daggers, sticks, following us to just leave the premises. Our phones, our money, a lot of people's money has been stolen. My phone, iPhone, I have $150 at the back in the case. It's stolen. My colleagues' phones and money as well. Everything has been stolen.
All right, let's move on to some other stories. And one of the fishers involved in the boat accident at the Adafo estuary has been found dead at Anglonga in the Volta region. The team made up of fishers picked up the body. This brings the number to 17, with 15 found alive and 2 dead. Adan East District Public Relations Officer of NADMO, Ebenezer Dando, says the family has decided to bury him due to the state of the body, despite the search made up of NADMO and Ghana Navy, as well as some fishers ending yesterday. Adan East District Public Relations Officer of NADMO, Ebenezer Dando, assured that the team will act on any information they receive. And fire gutted shops around the Cocoa Marketing Board area at Katamanto here in Accra. The devastating fire broke out on Sunday morning at the city's central market, with multiple shops being grazed to the ground. Although the enclave is engulfed with thick plumes of smoke, it is not confirmed the extent of damage or if any was hurt. Now, the cause of the fire is still under investigation, but we will be following the story closely and keep you informed as more details emerge. Our reporter Emma Davis is live on the ground for us. Emma, pleasure you could join me on Joy Newsroom. Briefly tell us the extent of damage from where you are.
Okay, so I'm currently at Abuja, at the Accra Central Market, right behind Cocoa Board. And then behind me, you can see that a lot of stores have been burnt to the ground. I have here with me John Domelo, who is here to sympathize with the people, and he'll tell us why he came all the way to here. Hi, John.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How did you hear this news? And coming here, how do you sympathize with the people?
Well, we are doing the limited registration just around the corner, and one of the guys I work with, his mother has her place here, and so they told me about it, and I said, oh, why don't I drive here and sympathize with the mom and, of course, the rest of the people. Apart from that, also, the couple of market women that I also deal with in terms of my farming activities are also in this area, and so that's why I just came here. But I know for a fact that the MP was here earlier on, and whatever help that she's going to give, of course, I know she's going to do something about it. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, your engagement with the people, what has been the information so far?
Well, the information is, of course, the fire started at dawn. The fire started at dawn. They don't know what happened, but as at this point, they don't even know where they're going to sleep and so on and so forth. But I know for a fact that the MP is going to do something about it. Yeah. Thank you.
Any last words for the people?
They should just take heart, and help is coming.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we are still at Abuja, at Accra Central, and people are trying to, it's a little chaotic here, and yet still people are trying to make a livelihood out of this, as people who sell scraps, are trying to pick up the remains of the place. I have with me a representative from NADMO. Please, may I know your name?
My name is Daniel Odeapia, the Municipal NADMO Director. I got here about 30-45 minutes ago.
And what has been
my observation?
How do you intend to help the people?
Excuse me.
What are the?
I got the information after 10 a.m. So apparently, it is the reason we are here at this time.
Okay, in such situations, how do you respond to the victims?
Yes, at the moment, we need to. Hold on.
So we have one of the affected people here. Please, Pacho Denesi.
I say, I do about 3 o'clock. By any baby, a January at toy. And then I didn't pick up. Yeah, one of your strangers, any baby, Yatra, at your Sramu, Yapacho, said, no, Chamam, Boba, baby, a better abonting. At the number for your Bremu, Yasramu, Omu Yapumacho, Omu Yamwa, no more, no more body, and yet, Obi, you just over to you, and baby, I call. No crap, I go back. Your band is no politics. No politics, Ghana for Yasramu. Obia nya bibia janu ya mpesa ndi sinya bibi adu masamba Yadia na ase do or might be obepoa na sepi. Obi Ghana how obepoa ye Abuja CMB ahasibia yesram omwaye.
Neba ni senejan eshase.
Jare de me aba mata. Eti aheda nim ekwa jare fast ye de ebaye. Won say hanu structure nyina ye kiosk. Eye ntabo eti jare to anu ase spread ekọ. Eti yesram say yesra Ghana perifo nyina so ya mopo. Ya owo. Manfra. Yanya grofo obiara munya obiara duma yanya say ya sega number 4 obiara sika what sampia no omwae ya pendis ya MPP bia wo
Thank you. So what he's trying to say is that he they are inhabitants here, and then everything they own has been burnt to the ground, so they are calling on government to come to their aid. And then Nadmo here is coming to tell me how they intend to help the people. Hi, again, please, how do you intend to help these people?
There is the concerns they have raised is the reason we are here. When there is a situation like this, the first thing we need to do, we come and do assessment and take records of affected persons or the victims. So then, as we are here, the records have started. You can see people are gathered. You can see that people are gathered down there. When we came, we have spoken with some of them already. We have started with our assessment, and we are taking inventory of affected people, so that moving forward, we will know what provision to be made for them. We know that the whole place is burned down. As it is, we need to take inventory of their situation, and then evacuate them, get them a place to stay for a night or 2 or 3. Then, moving forward, we will know what to do next. So the issue they are raising as to we have come late and all that, nobody spoke to us early. We got the information after 10 a.m. So it's not an issue that we came late. If we don't have information about the situation, how do we respond to it?
So by far, have you been able to assess
the assessment is ongoing. You asked me and I said we arrived just about 30-45 minutes ago. So having been here, the first thing is we'll start assessment. So part of the team is doing assessment, and part is also taking what? Inventory. Okay? Part is also taking inventory of the affected victims and their belongings that have been destroyed by the fire or consumed by the fire. So that's the way it is.
How soon should they be expecting to be relocated?
We have given ourselves 2 to 3 hours to get done with the assessment. Then we'll move on from there. What we need from them is cooperation. Because if they don't cooperate and we are unable to finish in time, I mean, we can't help it. Because first and foremost, we need to do the first thing by doing the assessment and taking inventory of all the households over here. And then we'll know the number of people we are dealing with. We can't just say we are dealing with 1,000 people whilst the number is 500. And we can't say we are dealing with 500 whilst the number is 1,000. So we need to really know those who have been affected and what belongings that have been destroyed by the fire, and to enable us know what provision to be made. We have already made arrangement for accommodation. We have made arrangement led by the MC. We have made arrangement to evacuate them to one of the schools and provide them with mattresses and the like to pass the night or 2 over there before we know what to do for them over here. So that's the way it is.
Okay. Thank you. So we have with me here the Assemblyman, General Secretary of the committee.
So I want you to speak with the MC, sorry.
Okay. General Secretary of the community, tell us how this has impacted you.
Let me give a background. It all started around 4:30.
Yeah, 4:30.
4:30 a.m. We made an attempt to go to the main transformer to put it off. Otherwise, it would have been more than this. But having said this, the way forward is that people have done a lot of assessment over here. We have one woman who was doing meat pie, and there are about 90 bags of I don't know how to say this thing, flour, yeah, and 40 gallons of oil. Okay, then there are other people who are into clothing. There are other people into clothing. Okay. There are other people who are into clothing. Most of their goods are bought in Tamanto. That is in the form of bills that have been destroyed. So these are ways by which we can do the assessment. Others are also into alcoholic beverages. So that's another area of business activity that's here. So when they're talking about assessment, basically we are into clothing, food, and drink, food and drink. Let me put it that way.
Okay, so how many shops were affected here?
The number of shops, to be precise, that is about 50. For now, it's about 50.
And they range from drinks to clothes and then what?
Yeah, that is the kind of activities, business activity that goes on there. It's clothing, food, drinks. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
My colleague Emma Davis interacting with affected residents of the fire incident that happened this morning at CMB. Of course, we will keep you updated in our subsequent bulletins. But in a related development, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says it is unacceptable that Ghana lost 64 million cedis to more than 6,000 fire outbreaks last year. Speaking at the commissioning of some cadet officers of the fire service, Dr. Bawumia explained that these outbreaks led to the death of 50 people and charged the service and citizens alike to work in reducing the numbers.
Fire outbreaks have dealt a big blow to us as a people in the past years. Individuals, organizations, institutions, and even government have lost properties and other valuables to fire outbreaks. The repercussions of these losses, especially that of the loss of human lives, have been dire and still difficult to grapple with and come to terms with. Ladies and gentlemen, last year alone, the nation lost in excess of 64 million Ghana cedis to 6,796 fire outbreaks, resulting in 50 deaths and 241 injuries. A situation which is unacceptable and one that we must all come together to find solutions to. I am reliably informed of how fire outbreak figures continue to dwindle across the country. This is welcoming news to all of us, but most importantly, an indication that fires are indeed preventable if we all decide to work towards preventing them.
Dr. Bawumia also touted government's responsiveness in resourcing the fire service to be a world-class firefighting institution.
The government is aware of the enormity of the responsibility placed on your shoulders as officers, men and women of this service. This undoubtedly also calls for considerable responsibility and amount of resources to execute this huge obligation. Government is therefore committed to resourcing the fire service with all needed tools and equipment. This is very much evident in the number of projects that have sprung up at the Fire Academy and Training School in the space of 1 year. This expansion has enabled the Fire Academy and Training School to accommodate and train recruits 3 times more than its previous capacity. Trainees have also been offered a more comfortable life while on training, and issues of overcrowding and lack of basic amenities is now a thing of the past.
Now, the WA police has arrested a 22-year-old man for allegedly defiling a 4-year-old kindergarten pupil. The suspect, Baifi, was arrested by some residents of Sendumini, a suburb of WA, when the victim's mother allegedly saw him lying on top of her daughter. The case was reported to the Upper West Office of Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The incident occurred around midday at Sendemuni, a suburb of WA, where the victim and her mother are residing. According to the mother of the victim, Hajia Sahadatu Hamza, the victim, who is a 4-year-old kindergarten 1 pupil, left the house around 8 a.m. to a nearby weekend Arabic school with her colleagues. At about midday, she realized that her colleagues had returned home, but there was no sign of her. She decided to inquire from her colleagues about her whereabouts, but to no avail. Hajia Sahadatu decided to chase up to the mosque. They have been holding the Arabic lessons, and midway through her search, she heard the cry of the victim in an uncompleted building.
I saw an adult that had smeared oil on the private parts of my daughter and kept his manhood on my daughter. I shouted and cried, saying, "Save me, save me," a man with my daughter. He quickly got up, wore his sandals, held his trousers, and attempted to hop away. I pursued him, crying on top of my voice for help. He was arrested by the people around.
The suspect, Baby Boaton, quickly got up with her trousers around his thighs, was holding his belt. She described the incident as shocking.
I was confused and just didn't know where I was. You can see that I am not even wearing my sandals. I am visibly shaking.
The victim, Baby Boaton, who is 22-year-old unemployed, was arrested and later handed over to the Wa police, where he was kept behind bars. A report was lodged with the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, and the family handed a medical form for the victim to be taken to the Wa Municipal Hospital for medical examination. The Wa police are, however, tight-lipped on the issue. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Wa.
Lithium Resources Ghana Limited, one of the companies yet to be granted licenses to undertake lithium mining in the central region, says it will not export lithium in its raw state, but will build a refinery to refine the mineral. Ghana's lithium discovery in the central region is estimated at 35.3 metric tons with a value of over $4.8 billion over the lifespan of the mine. The databases manager of the company, Justice Ameduki, says the company is still exploring the presence of lithium in the area and hopes the exploration will lead to lithium in commercial quantities. There is more in this report.
The lithium project will utilize conventional open pit mining methods involving drill, blast, load, and haul operations due to the shallow nature of the ore body. Apart from the Mfantsiman municipality, where huge quantities of lithium have been discovered, the Kumfi district is being explored by several mining companies for lithium deposits. Databases manager of the company, Justice Amekudi, says the company has the intention to explore the signatures of low elements such as lithium identified in the area and acknowledge them as economically viable.
Lithium Resources Ghana Limited is a joint venture between two companies. One company is the CAA money from UK, and then we have the Empire in Ghana. So right from the beginning of the company, they are joint venture, and that is cascading down all the processes of things we do. And then the third approach is we don't want to take lithium out of this country in its raw state. So we also have a third approach where we'll bring local content and the government in the construction of a refinery. to convert the lithium material into a concentrate. Then wherever we have to send it again, that will still have to be agreed between us and the government. Currently, we're looking at a possible place in Takoradi area. Economically, that's where the industry is more favorably to be sited. So we are still on that as well. We've been shown places, so we are still doing our due diligence on those locations.
Justice Amekuji also mentioned that the company, although in its early stages, has brought several benefits to the community. Dominic Apedo, who works with the Lithium Resources Ghana Limited, highlighted some of the benefits the catchment areas of the company have had.
We started operation for 6 months now. The community under which our catchment area, which starts all the way from Otuom, Asamai, and then Abasa precisely, have benefited in an enormous way. Asamai, for example, when we came here, there's no access road. We've tried to create an access road for the community. We're in the process of getting them, trying to upgrade the transformer, which has a capacity of 50 kV. We're trying to upgrade it to 300 kV, which the community will benefit, and in that case, lithium as well. Then when you go to Abasa, we have a plan of helping the Abasa Health Center. We've asked them to give us a list of things that are pressing, which they wanted us to help them with.
Some of the chiefs have been appealing to government to properly license the company so it can operate effectively. Richard Kojo for Joy News.
This is still Joy Newsroom with me, Pious. Kojo Backah more after this break. Hello, welcome back. This is still Joy Newsroom. The West African Examination Council is being urged to resolve the widespread examination malpractices which in recent times have characterized the tests and conducted for basic and senior high school students by the external examination body. WAEC, at its last press briefing, announced that it is overwhelmed by the level of breach of examination regulations, raising concerns about the promotion of academic excellence. However, speaking on the sidelines of the 10th anniversary of the Cherryfield Montessori School, former Minister of Education, Betty Mould Idrisu, called on WAEC to take drastic measures that will root out the problem in Ghana's education system. Here is more.
Graduates of Cherryfield Montessori School celebrating a milestone in their academic journey at the 10th anniversary speech and prize-giving day of their institute. The event witnessed the award of certificates to outstanding pupils and the display of talents by these children. Chief Executive Officer of the school, Magdalene Jifa-Ajanu, described the occasion as worth celebrating as she outlined some of the success stories of the school.
As we celebrate a decade of its existence and its graduation, some remarkable achievements are worth mentioning in a grandiose occasion such as this. I am pleased to announce to you that the school are in their first years at various universities in Ghana and abroad. Our BCE candidates last year obtained 100% distinction, with each candidate getting their first choice school. We are hopeful that this current batch of students will also perform extremely well. Let's keep them in our prayers.
But as the next basic education certificate examination approaches, there are concerns about widespread examination malpractices, which many parents and stakeholders are worried about. Ghana's former Minister for Education, Betty Mould Idrisu, who was guest speaker at the ceremony, called on the West Africa Examination Council to put their house in order.
It is their perennial problem. They must sort the issue out. Otherwise, I think Ghana, we should take very drastic steps to advise ourselves on whether to continue being part of the system, paying so much, contributing so much, providing all these facilities, just for this to be a perennial problem from time immemorial. And they keep trying every year, then they'll say, oh, this is the worst year. No, that's not so. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm old, so I remember almost every year there being a problem. They need to put their house in order, and the sooner the better. They can, so we trust them to have a good framework, to set up a good system for our children. They are betraying our trust. They can't blame us. They can't blame social media. They should be able to police things. Otherwise, we have to look at it again.
Former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Fred Bimka, added his voice by calling for the introduction of smart technologies which will help address these malpractices.
In fact, look at the other way around. The other way around is that if the technology for WASEC was very good enough, the student sitting next to you will be doing the different exam. So you can't get somebody going to write on the screen and say this is the answer to the exam. No. So the technology allows us to control that. You know, if you take your, mobile phone into the exam room, you won't complete the exam. Okay? And in other jurisdictions, the pass mark sometimes is 80, 90. So you'll be looking through your phone and the time is passing.
Management of Sheffield Montessori School are, however, pledging their support to the drive of churning out quality education products to feed Ghana's future human resource needs.
Now, up to 1 billion youth in Africa could face unemployment by 2050 if current conditions persist. That's a warning from YEP Africa's founder and Chief Executive Officer Paul Engelsman. Ghana reported a youth unemployment rate of 3.87% in 2022. To address this challenge and combat illegal migration on the continent, the Dutch non-governmental organization YEP Africa has expanded its skills training programs to Ghana. The inaugural cohort has successfully graduated, equipped with expertise and soft skills, and is now prepared to train others within the country. There is more in the following report.
For 15 years, YEP Africa has empowered over 1,000 youth in the areas of entrepreneurship through its learning centers in Gambia and Senegal. Having expanded to Ghana, starting with the graduation of the first cohort, the organization's Chief Executive Officer and founder, Paul Engelsman, says the move is aimed at tackling the menace of illegal migration and youth unemployment.
If you look at Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, then the numbers of youth unemployment are growing enormously. And if we do nothing, then the numbers will grow to 1 billion youth being unemployed in sub-Saharan Africa by 2050. It's one of the biggest problems in the world, because if that happens, then, you know, it's a disaster for Africa, but it's a disaster for Europe, and it's a disaster for the world. So I believe that youth unemployment should be on top of the agenda of politicians. But what you see is that still not many politicians are focused on youth unemployment, whilst it's one of the biggest problems. Our mission is to empower not only in Gambia, but to empower sub-Saharan Africa, the youth of sub-Saharan Africa. And that's why we have the training here now. We have trained 5 young men and women who will take the lead in setting up the first learning center and start training themselves, the youth of Ghana. And this is all Ghanese youth. It's youth for youth.
Chairperson for YEP Africa, Munira Sheikh, believes that empowering African youth to take personal initiatives is the surest way of tackling youth unemployment and illegal migration on the continent.
We are very specific about reducing the unemployment rate. We are also very much concerned about the illegal migration. So these are our 2 main focus areas. And we want to give empowerment to the youth so that they can feel that here, living in Ghana also, they can establish so much from zero. I mean, from nothing actually. So the speciality of this program is that when the youngsters, they come here, they are able to understand what big ideas they can work upon, even starting from small, and then they learn about their own ability that yes, we have the power to do it, and yes, we can establish something from nothing. So our main focus is on unemployment and also reducing the illegal migration.
Monira is, however, urging Ghanaian youth to be curious and not to solely rely on their government.
I would like to say to them to believe in themselves and keep finding, have questions, have curiosity. So when you have curiosity, you start to find and question yourself and the environment. Not blaming always the government or the system and the lack of things available or the resources available. Yes, these are the facts. People are working on that also. But the main there are people who are living in big developed countries, but they can't do anything because if you don't have the right question inside you, the person can't do anything. So my message to the youth is keep finding your inner strength, and then the road will automatically it will build up. To give you resources, to give you connections, to build up network, and then the things multiply.
Some beneficiaries of the training believe the project will help curb youth unemployment in Ghana.
My training with YEP Africa has been life-changing because I thought I knew myself, but now I know myself better. I know where I fall short, and I am okay with talking about where I fall short and where I am headed and the things that I need to let go of in order to get to where I want to get to. I am also very happy that I have been given the opportunity to lead the change.
Sometimes you have a business idea and you want to start something, but it's very difficult. Most of us, we have business ideas, but we didn't know how to go about it or how to even start. Or because the people that we see them to be up there, because of greed, most of them don't want us to get to the level that they are. And I think YEP Africa is not doing that because they really want to empower us so that they will help curb the unemployment issue in Africa, not Ghana alone.
While youth unemployment is forcing many youth out of the continent, entrepreneurship presents a key opportunity to tackling the menace. Carlos Caloni's report for Joy News.
In more news, the government has set its sights on approximately 15,000 workers in the hospitality sector as part of the comprehensive Ghana Cares of Batampa initiative aimed at reviving the nation's economy. Speaking at the launch of the Ghana COVID-19 Alleviation and Revitalization of Enterprises and Support Trading Program at the University of Cape Coast, a senior budget analyst at the Ministry of Finance, Akwesi Owusu-Menu, revealed the program forms an integral part of government's multifaceted approach to bolstering the nation's economic resilience. Here's more.
The training program is a collaborative effort of the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management at the University of Cape Coast and the Finance Ministry. A senior budget analyst at the Finance Ministry, Akwesi Owusu-Menu, highlighted the program's objectives, emphasizing its role in supporting both the hospitality sector and the workers who have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Owusu-Menu provided insight into the program's specifics, explaining the application process and outlining the training regimens beneficiaries will undergo.
This program falls under the Ghana Cares program. It's part of the Batampa Care program that government decided to implement to revitalize the economy. So it has been there, and the mode of selecting the beneficiaries was through an online application. So you apply online, and the selection criteria was set up by the implementation committee to workers who were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic were asked to apply, and they were selected to participate in the program. We created a website for the program. We made it available to all the public because we have a website for it. We publicize it. We even made publication in the Daily Graphic and the Ghanaian Times, and those who applied and were selected are those who are being trained by these institutions. So we have a target of 8,000 workers in the hospitality and tourism sector alone, and we have 7,000 for the private education sector. So in all, government is targeting about 15,000 workers, which the education sector have started their own, and today UCC also started their own for the hospitality department.
The head of department of the Hospitality and Tourism Management at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Isahaku Adam, shared his perspectives on the program. He underscored the challenges that the training program seeks to address and emphasized the need for diverse approaches to enhance product development within the tourism sector.
Quite a number of challenges. One is the issue of skills, which I believe that this training program will help us bridge in so many respects. Of course, there are other challenges that existed prior to COVID and, been there for a long time. So perhaps one of it will be not a lot of attention being paid to product development. We realize that tourism actually thrives on uniqueness and difference. So if you have a product that exists for a long time, and then there's no enhancement to the product, there are no new ones coming. If you visit it once, twice, maybe 3 times at best, you never go back to it. And so that is what we are caught up in this country. We are not developing enough products. And even where we say we are developing products, we are really taking a piecemeal approach to it. But we need a comprehensive approach to tourism product development. When we are able to get the product, then the private sector will respond to it in terms of when they see increased visitor numbers and all that, they will respond to establish the hotels, the restaurants, and all those ancillary businesses.
The training aims to equip participants with the skills and knowledge required to thrive in the evolving hospitality industry.
We've got business for you after this break.
When something happens, you want to know all about it immediately. Here at Joy News, we don't just bring you the breaking stories. We go beyond them to bring you the intricate issues in those developing stories. We are relentless in our probe, detailed in our search, and our commitment to be your most credible news source is one that you can trust, because news is all about you. Joy News, credible, independent, and fearless.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. The country director of the British Council, Nido Dudodu, has reiterated his outfit's commitment to supporting universities to harness the entrepreneurship mindsets of young people to develop viable ventures. According to him, supports of this nature are critical because the youth are a powerful resource needed for economic development. He was speaking at the launch of the Enterprise Support and Development Curriculum by the University of Ghana Business School.
The University of Ghana Business School launched the Enterprise Support and Incubation Curriculum Development aimed at empowering the youth to go into entrepreneurship and eradicate poverty. In an interview, Country Director of the British Council, Nido Dudodu, said the curriculum is important and will steer the entrepreneurs in the right path and contribute to economic growth.
As we all know, Africa's greatest resource are its young people. And that's why, for us, if you want to kind of impact African young people, then universities are one of the areas to try and push that support through. And that's why we're working with many universities in Africa to do this program. University of Ghana Business School is then created a curriculum because we did realize that a lot of the universities interested in entrepreneurship development but lack the basic resources for that. And so they've created an open source curriculum. We work with enablers to try and also build coaching and mentoring services so that university students who are interested in setting up, businesses right from when they are in university have access to just not curriculum, but other entrepreneurs, industry people who have gone, through that same path to help, support them.
Coordinator of the University of Ghana Business School, NEST, George Echampong, added that the curriculum will serve as a guide for incubation hubs in the country to train their entrepreneurs.
So one of the things you would realize is that there are a lot of innovation hubs springing up, but there is no standard curriculum. So what we have sought to do in this project is to develop what we call a base curriculum that everybody can leverage. What that means is that all of the hubs across the country can use that curriculum in training the entrepreneurs practically. As part of that, one of the things we've added is a coaching, mentoring, and experts in residence program, where all these hubs can have access to experts that they can leverage and call upon to mentor the young people. Because it's not enough to just have the skill. You also have to be mentored by someone who has done the journey to be able to do that.
The curriculum is being developed with the collective input of other universities in the country.
Business organizations have been urged to invest in nurturing the professional growth of their employees to accelerate their career progression, according to an adjunct lecturer in public sector management at GIMPA, Wing Commander Retired Sam Alute. It is imperative to empower individuals to reach their fullest potential by equipping them with the necessary tools and knowledge to excel in their careers. He spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the launch of Elevated Professional Consult here in Accra.
In a bid to address the critical need for enhanced soft skills and professional traits in the corporate world, Elevated Professional Consult has been launched to help professionals navigate those professional hurdles. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the consult, adjunct lecturer in public sector management at GIMPA, Wing Commander Retired Sam Alute, advised employers to pay critical attention to empowering their employees with the necessary corporate etiquette and values.
Not just business etiquette, but in personal development, you need to have certain social graces, certain etiquette. It gives you a sense of belonging, because if you have to interact with businessmen and people from other cultures, you know, they expect a certain minimum standard, what is acceptable behavior. So I think what Elevated Professional Consult is doing is a step in the right direction. I think that most corporates must take advantage of it, the executive grooming. You know, most times we have people who are technically good, they really know their stuff, but when it comes to interpersonal skills, you know, conflict resolution, negotiation, they seem to be lacking, especially in the social graces. And sometimes a certain behavior can be a put-off. It can cut you off from others. So I think that what we are doing today is very, very useful.
Professional Consult, Pearl Ano entreated professionals to be mindful of their personal grooming.
It's very important that your decorum, your mannerism, your body carriage is very important for you to be able to move on career development. So what I would say to the youth, people seeking to move up their career ladder, is pay attention to the little things.
All right, so we will go live to the Lorry Park of the Tema Metropolitan Assembly, where the Joy News Ecobank Habitat Fair is happening live, and our man Papani Ashali is there for us to bring us up to speed with all that you need to know. But before that, we will connect to him pretty soon, as and when we do get the feed, we will have him on. But I've got great stories on myjoyonline.com for you. We've got more for you after this break. Let's go live to Papani Ashale at the Tema Metropolitan Assembly, where the 2023 Joy News Ecobank Habitat Fair is happening live. Papani, take it away.
Great. So it's a beautiful Sunday. The sun is out. Many people have closed church. But the Tema Metropolitan Assembly is the place to be right now, because that is where the Ecobank Joy News Habitat Fair is ongoing right now, where we have all the exhibitors for your housing need. If you have to build, have to buy a land, you want to be adventurous enough to build your own thing, well, this is the place to be, where we have all your solutions put together at one location. Well, let's start from Ingusra Group, right? What exactly do they have for those that have decided to spend their Sunday with them? Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
So, I mean, tell me about some of the packages that people shouldn't miss out, today being the last day.
Oh, today, yesterday, we started from the first day, that's Friday. Currently, we have a properties chat, that's a high-end website that people can go on, search for properties to rent. People can also sell their properties. As of now, with you listing properties on our website, we are giving a 1 month free. So if you come in, you have a property that you want to rent out, you have properties that maybe you are also searching for properties to rent, just come here. We have a lot of properties for you to get to rent. And we are calling on real estate companies to also come in and try to also list their properties here, because it's for free. for a whole 1 month, and it's at least as 50 Ghana cedis. Wow. At least as 50 Ghana cedis. So we are calling on all real estate companies and also agents who also have properties that they want to rent out. They should come here and get it for free.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So that's in Grusa. They have a lot more than what he's told us that they do. Well, okay.
Can I just talk about this one? We are currently organizing a tour to the island on next week Saturday, and we are running some promotions here. You get it at 550 Ghana cedis, and you get to enjoy a whole lot of free buffet lunch with a ship cruise with pure live band too. So we are calling on all people who would like to go to the island to come here and also enjoy the freebies, because after we leave here you get it at 600 Ghana cedis. So why don't you come here today and get to enjoy the ambience and also get to enjoy the freebies? That's 50 Ghana cedis out of the 600 Ghana cedis too.
Great news. So don't miss out on this sweet package. You definitely have to make your way through Tema Metropolitan Assembly in order to enjoy those freebies here. So currently we are with Aquaflow Systems. The head of the marketing team is here with us. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
You're most welcome.
Great. So, I mean, why should people not miss out on today's event? Today is the last day. Why shouldn't they miss out? What do you have for them?
We're running a promotion of 10% for any item that we purchase today. And even if they came to visit us and they come to our office later on, the fact that they came to visit our stand, if they should come or contact us later on, we'll still give them the 10% promo.
It's an interesting looking machine, right? Tell me a little bit about it briefly.
Okay, so this is a water purifying machine. This is mainly for borehole. We have for the normal water and for borehole. It basically purifies your tap water for you. You just connect it to your tap, mostly fixed in the kitchen, because that's where you get your source of water for cooking and drinking. Yeah.
So if I have a borehole and it's salty, this can help me?
Yeah, this can help remove the salt because it has a reverse osmosis filtration. So it takes out the salt.
And we do know that it's still raining discounts and freebies at the Tema Metropolitan Assembly car park, where the 2023 Joy News Ecobank Habitat Fair is happening live. It's still not too late. You can get yourself sorted in relation to all your housing needs. And that's how we part company here on Joy Newsroom. I am Pious Kojo Backah. For more stories, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Pleasure serving you. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Bye.